Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 18, known as Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, gives the conclusion of the Gita. And the conclusion is that everyone should attain moksha. No more ichcha. Ichcha means desires. Moksha, out, eliminate all ichcha. That's a humorous interpretation. Through sannyasa. Sannyasa term literally means renunciation. But I have explained that point. There are two stages. First, to recognize divine forces are operating through you. That's called nyasa. The sun is operating through your eyes. Moon god is operating through your mind, and so forth. The scriptures have given various presiding deities of every organ, and they are all deities, and they are operating. So consider your body not just the material body, consider it as a temple that has been enshrined by all gods. The glory of God operating through your eyes, glory of God operating through your touch, glory of God operating through your feet. That's called nyasa. That's the ritual that goes on giving you that insight. Until you come to sannyasa. Sannyasa means the very idea, I am this body-mind complex. That idea that I am has no reality. That I am, instead of being body-mind, that I am is Brahman. That's sannyasa. Now, without going to the present context, verse number 52. Vivikta sevi lagvashi yatva kayamanasaha dhyana yoga paro nityam vairagyam samupashritaha. Living in solitude. These are the qualities of one who is enlightened. Eating but little. Engaged in controlling my speech, body, and mind. Ever devoted to the yoga of meditation and taking refuge in dispassion. The description is two-aspected. For sadhaka, one who wants to attain liberation, these are the qualities he must strive to develop. One who has attained enlightenment, all these are sahaj, spontaneous. They don't strive. It's automatic. When you make a habit of getting up at 4 and doing so many things at that time, you don't look into your diary, what should I do? You get up and everything you were doing it. That's called sahaj. I'm just giving a simple way to understand. Qualities that you must develop for spiritual progress. that requires effort, vigilance, lot of struggle, frustration. But when you come to a state of higher level of evolution, those qualities become like flowers in a tree. They don't struggle, they simply blossom. Two stages occur in every individual. Now, what are these qualities? Living in solitude. Now, people take it literally, and to some people, it, to some extent, is needed. Who are always living in a crowd, get away and find some quiet location. And even in your own room, wherever you are, create a private room, look, tape on it. Please don't disturb. I'm joking. But for maturer understanding, because now we are in this stage of maturer insight, always understand, living in the world, your focus is on your self-realization. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. For the sake of yourself, all things become dear. All that you do to the world, all that you think about it, behind all that, what is the source? Your own self. Deep down, you find satisfaction to your self, a deeper satisfaction. Therefore, you want to do so many things. But if that satisfaction is not in your formula, then all that you do are completely wastage. You're simply building up stress in your mind. You are not. But instinctively, whether you are doing rightly or wrongly, everyone is trying to fulfill the urges of the soul, the deeper urge. That urge is Satchit Ananda, to exist, being immortal, no mortality, to have all knowledge, never in darkness about anything. Nothing exists. An absolute Ananda, the whole jar filled with joy, not one drop less. That's the self. It is for the sake of that self, all things become dear, all things have value in your mind, either positive value or negative value. So therefore, do not go after settling things around you. That you may go on doing that as secondary aspect. The primary, settle within yourself. Put it in a very simple way. Build up strength in your body and mind. Feel joyous when you wake up in the morning. And if you have that type of setting, you are going to live your day with purpose. I'm putting a very simple way to understand. Now, coming to living in solitude. Solitude means allow inner space to expand within your own heart. Do not become so crowded by your worries, anxieties, and stress that you have no space. Literally, if you go into seclusion, that's not the answer. Because then you carry more of the burden than when you are busy. Try to experiment it. So in spite of all your duties to be done, living your life through a world of multiplicity, in spite of all that, develop an internal movement, twofold movement, bhakti and jnana. Bhakti, love of God. And where is God? He is your deepest source. He can't run away. Everything can run away, but he can't. And jnana, that self that is deepest within you, is everything. All things are Maya. And that innermost self is Brahman. When you involve yourself in this bhakti jnana movement, in inner space begin to expand. No matter how you exist in the world of practical reality, may be crowded, and yet your mind is not. And those people who have experience in their life and certain qualitative enrichment in their life, they know if you are doing inspiring activity, being extremely busy in that activity does not distract your mind. Outwardly, you are extremely busy. So that type of solitude must be promoted. And day by day, live in that solitude. Until that solitude becomes a permanent possession, a mansion known as solitude within your heart. But as I said, certain degree of literal solitude is perfectly in order. Rather, it is necessary. Always exercise your intellect. If you are in a group of people and that's not giving you sattvic food, move away from there. Say some nice things to them and get away. Spiritual movement is not based on bitterness. Next point, eating but little. Laghuvāshī. Because eating has 3 levels. Eating for your body, eating for your mind, eating for your intellect. But very practical is eating in relation to your bodily health. But the health that yogi wants is that type of a health that allows the mind to be sattvic, relaxed, not distracted. Sometimes you go after certain degree of a health that allows you to feel you are so energetic. But then your mind becomes exceedingly distracted. The doctor says you are healthy. But mind says, I want to be wealthy. So that ahar, that type of food, is called rajasic food. So you need to understand sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, 3 types of food that we have discussed before. And that needs a lot of your own experience as well as good research. And of course, this is a very simple point that anywhere, any ashram, any saintly personality can guide you in that direction. and your own mind begins to guide you. Sattvic food, food that allows your body to have all the needed nutrition and minerals and all that. At the same time, allows your mind to relax, not make the mind agitated. Now, that first problem is resolved. You understand sattvic food. But now comes the next problem. You can eat so much of the sattvic food the body doesn't want to digest it. So that point is resolved by little, called mitahar. It is described in a mathematical way. If your stomach has 4 sections, eat to fill only the half of your stomach. The 3/4, another section that is 1/4 section, keep it for water, liquid. And the 4th section, forget about it. It's called mitahar. So there is a mantra in that. Hitbhuk, mitbhuk. Hitbhuk, eat, which is beneficial to your body, which is healthy for your body. Hit, that does a hit to your body, good to your body. Mitbhuk, but don't eat too much of it. Mit, as I described. Full mantra, hitvuk, bitvuk. And that's the explanation of eating but little. Yat vakkaya manasa, engaged in controlling speech, body, and mind. That's the whole purpose of Shastra. Shasakatraya. 3 types of control. Sha means shasak, control. Administration. Create an administrative plan to control manasa, vacha, karmana. Control your mind. Control your speech. Control your action. Mind, speech, action. But instead of action, the Gita has used the word body, because action requires bodily involvement. So speech, body, and mind, controlling these 3, that's the purpose of scripture, Shastra, Shasakatraya. And one type of sannyasi called Tridandi sannyasi, he carries something in his hand that has 3 prongs. It's called Tridandi sannyasi. He carries it for that. That's the symbolic implication of that, what he carries. He may not understand it, but that's the meaning behind it. I'm joking. In other words, there lies the beauty of your life. How can you improve upon your speech? Never think that I have perfectly mastered my speech, and I will do exactly the best thing, whatever I say. Yes, 5 years ago, whatever you said, good. You can do gooder. You can do better. movement towards spiritual enrichment has no limit. Never put a limit to it. You can do always better and better and better. You can learn how people are expressing themselves. Pick up their statements. Use it. Enrich your vocabulary. So it's threefold movement. Disciplining your speech, that has many implications. Speech doesn't always mean you are speaking. What you have to speak, if you write them down, what you write them down, you can communicate with modern technology far and wide. Share your good ideas, share your good intentions, good insights. And when you receive the feedback, you get inspiration to have more insight. It's called Jnana Yajna. It's the most powerful method of spiritual progress. Likewise, controlling your body. You have the whole system of yoga exercises, asanas, pranayams, and many techniques. The entire Kundalini yoga is involved in it. And controlling your mind, you have the whole Raja Yoga, gives you all the details about how the mind has to be handled. Allow your insight to develop in all the three directions for making your speech more gentle, more literary, more beautiful, artistic, more heart-rendering, more poetic. Allow your body to be more vibrant, more full of vitality. And allow your mind to be full of inspiration, nirmal, free of impurity, full of good thoughts. See, that's a big plan in your life. That's a big scheme. See? You have no room for getting more morose and miserable. And what is more, you have the boundless source, God within you. With His help, nothing is impossible. What's the proof? Look at the world. Go on developing Shraddha, faith, and awakening devotion, bhakti. That becomes very core of spiritual movement. Ever devoted to the yoga of meditation. Meditation here, that's all that I have described, is a type of meditation, allowing your mind to flow towards God. Internally, if you think of yourself, go beyond your body, pranas, mind. Find your source in God within you, Satchidananda within you. Outwardly, look at the world and understand the divine is, God is behind everything. Even a little flower presents to you such artistic, graceful act, miraculous act of God. Every little seed, without having gone into universities and colleges, knows how to send out its rootlets. and be so patient that even most invulnerable type of most difficult rocks begin to break. The seed goes on poking. Rootlets go on poking and making a difficult spot very easy, spongy. All this is to allow your mind to understand that you have many sources of inspiration. Learn that art through satsanga and keeping busy with good activities, avoiding those associations that bring a lot of muck in your mind. If you have that, then you are ever devoted to yoga of meditation. Your dhyan, meditative movement flows internally. It flows externally. Antar dhyan, vahya dhyan. Antar samadhi, vahya samadhi. And taking refuge in dispassion. Success lies in being detached. If you feel that you are restricted by people, by objects, by circumstances, and by your own moha, that feeling of restriction is a big obstruction in your spiritual movement. Try to develop vairagya. Vairagya allows your mind to understand that all things that you love, the source of all that is the love of the self. Every human being, as parents, you love your children. All children are souls. The divine light operates through their eyes. The divine hand allows the ears to grow. You are working with God. When you develop that, you are not building moha. You are building love of God. That is not distracting you from being a mother to your children, but making you much more profound. A mother who has a Devi's grace to bless the children. So, that's called dispassion. Dispassion word seems a little frightening to the mind. But dispassion is most affectionate term. Affection, love of God. But when you are dispassionate towards the world, you are more to yourself. And yourself is not ego, God. Figure that out. The increasing dispassion, that's the characteristic of spiritual progress. Increasing fascination and being bonded with the world, that's going away from your spiritual progress. Now coming to next verse. Ahamkaram balam darpam kamam krodham parigraham vimutya nirmamah shanto brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Having renounced egoism, rajasic strength, rajasic power, conceit, perverted desires, lust, anger, and covetousness, freed of the sense of mindness, and ever peaceful, he becomes qualified to become one with Brahman. There are 10 points that will qualify to become one with Brahman. The 10 points that bring out the characteristics of one who is enlightened. What are they? Renouncing egoism. Egoism means I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the senses. This personality is not I am. The I am is a ghost that exists as long as your mind is frightened. When the mind asks the question, who am I? The ghost ego runs. Put rationality to it. Analyze, who am I? Where is that ego? When you go to sleep, ego is not there. Your ego doesn't enjoy your sleep. When you wake up, you shift the angle and you make it feel the ego has enjoyed. But ego wasn't there to enjoy it. In sleep state, you are without your ego, without your mind, without your intellect, without your body, without your money, without your all those things, without your cell phone. And you are. Then who are you? How many are you? Where are you? The time is not there. Space is not there. The I am is absolute. That absolute I am stays while in sleep. But you don't become enlightened because there is a veil of ignorance. But then, one way or the other, you come to that state where nothing is there. And there is nothing shocking about it. Rather, it's most fulfilling. So that ahamkar must be resolved. Again, resolution comes in day-to-day life, you develop sattvic ahamkar. Ego that has come to a state of transparency. Tamasic ahamkar is a kind of a black. Suppose you are having a stick before you, and it's a black stick. So tamasic ego, not only black, but it has lens effect. Whatever you see, you don't see it correctly. Big things become little. Little things become very fast. The tamasic ego. In Ramayana, his tamasic ego plays the role of Kumbhakarna. Always sleeping. Sleeping to reality. A little waking comes up, but during that waking, all that Kumbhakarna does is he eats. Eat, drink, and be merry. Nothing else. So that's tamasic ego. Now work upon that ego, purify it. Now it becomes a rajasic ego, that blackness has gone away. But it has a lens effect. It doesn't allow your vision to be straight, undistorted, unrefracted. You look through it and your vision gets refracted. You are not getting the real understanding. You are looking at one tree and it appears 10. And then you don't know which way you have to go. You want the fruit from one tree, but there are 10 trees. And all of them are more fruits than the real one. I'm giving you a picture of rajasic ego. That demonstrated in Ramayana as Ravana, 10 heads. Everything is examined by 10 heads. One head said something. Then whispers to the other one. What do you say? Third one. fourth one. 10 heads have to bring out what they want. That's allegorical. But that's called Rajasic ego. Sattvic ego, it has become a transparent plastic, beautiful, allowing you to hold on to it it has all the strength. It's a rock, but completely transparent. So transparent, looking into it, a kind of a joy. And a greater joy, what you discover through that sattvic ego. You discover God's shrine in your own heart. You discover God's glory expanding everywhere in the world. You discover the jiva within you has become Shiva. And you discover the whole world has become Rama. That's the Shiva Rama story. Tulsidas has covered it. So, all that I have described for this statement, having renounced egoism. Next thing, balam. Bala refers to strength. But here in this context, the bala refers to rajasic strength, rajasic tamasic strength. That type of strength, following the storyline of the scriptures, Puranas, it makes you Bali. Was very charitable, the doer of many great things, but source of encouraging all demoniac race. And Lord Vishnu had to cheat him by becoming a small dwarf and asking him, if you are so charitable, give me 3 steps of land. He said, are you insulting me? I have so much, I can give you a whole kingdom of a, you want to get, ask a city, ask a village. He said, no. God has made me with little wine. At the moment he says, I give you, he expands his body into a cosmic form. And in 2 steps measures all his empire. And for 3rd step he says, where should I put this now? The Bali puts his head down, put it on my head. By that time Bali came to his senses. This is an illustration of rajasic strength and how it has to come to be humbled in divine plan. If it is not humbled, it is terror to the world. Rajasic strength. And people are, majority of people go after the rajasic, bully type of strength. Instead of developing virtuous qualities, you want to make people say you have virtuous qualities. Instead of, why to do all that effort? So that type of bal, that's demoniac. That bal doesn't exist. Ahamkar doesn't exist. It's cut down, it's rendered sattvic and beyond sattvic. Strength, that's rajasic, tamasic, that moves away. It's a mighty strength of divine love. Think of all the great works you have done from your childhood up till now. All that. Answer is love. Your mother's love pushed you all through your kid stage. And you are guided by some instinctive urge. And that allows you to go on doing great things. So the profound source of love, profound source of strength lies in developing divine love, allowing your heart to blossom. That's the glory of, that's what's illustrated through sages, how Buddha's presence, people came with inimical ideas and they suddenly become saintly. All the political strength could not have changed them. But this power of love brings profound change. And it is that change which is the remedy for all the troubles of this world. Next point is darp. Darp means conceit. And those people who know Sanskrit literature, darpana means mirror. And from darpan, darp is a mirror-like relation. What does that imply? What does mirror do? You always want to see your face in it. We don't care to understand if the mirror itself is dirty or mirror has a lens effect. It is not giving you right interpretation of your face. The day-to-day mirror is called darpana. By seeing your face into it, you feel happy. Darpana. Reflection that gives you joy. But darp, firstly, it doesn't give you any right reflection. You want to see your own concept accepted by everybody. You want to see your own view adopted by everyone. This is an exaggerated way of seeing certain qualities in a mirror, not in reality, as a reflection. That's called conceit. When conceit is there, that's what happens. All these negative things exist in every individual. But you need to corner it, need to understand it, need to go on diminishing it. Perverted desires, kama. That kama has to be overcome by brahmacharya, allowing your whole personality to conduct in such a way that your goal is to not stay as a human being, generating human beings, but become godly. You are Brahman, not body. And allow your heart to bring about million children. That's to say, not being away, I'm joking, but the idea is all are children for the divine heart. Divine heart is the mother. And all souls are children of that divine heart. That's brahmacharya at the highest level. Anger, being agitated in your mind. Anger has two implications. When you don't get something according to your desire, you become angry. Now, what about when you get it? Your mind is not quiet. Mind becomes elated. Elation and frustration both are agitation for your mind. And agitation is called anger in this particular context. Kamat krodho vijayati, krodhat bhavati sammoha. If you keep mind agitated, your intellect will not have clear understanding, deluded understanding. And covetousness. Covetousness means hoarding things or trying to acquire things out of greed. Two aspects of covetousness. Getting things that belong to others, somehow planning and scheming and bring them to yourself. Or in a very normal way, bringing your ability so great that you become a genius in trade and business. And you go on multiplying your money. How long will you multiply? There's no end. That's called covetousness. No use for all that, but you want to go and multiply. And also understand, hoarding things that you don't use and they could have been utilized by others, but you go on holding until they germinate. That's covetousness. Renouncing all these impurities, and I have already explained to you, in order to work against any impurity, you have to adopt the mantra 3S. Suppress. Don't let it display itself through your actions and words. Try to shut it down. Next point, substitute. Don't be worried about it. I have so much anger. What can I do? These satsang people say, you should be angry. I will not go to satsang anymore. So anger, shut it down. And don't worry about it. Rather, turn your attention deep down. I'm the healthy soul. With anger, I'm a patient. So let me discover my health. I'm angerless. I'm in the image of God. I'm full of love. Your intellect may say you are lying. Don't listen to it. Continue to be positive. And then what will happen? And continue to do actions that are generous, kind, compassionate. And what will happen? That gets sublimated. Now we will find similar challenging situations. Instead of making you angry, makes you thoughtful. And you handle the situation in such a way that it allows you to become more spiritually enriched. And to the external world, you do something much better. Kalyan in both ways, internally and externally. So that's what SSS. Suppress, substitute, sublimate. Write it down on your 3 fingers, you see. And I conclude now. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukum Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyant मा कश्चित् दुःख भाग भवेत्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम।